Hello and welcome. It was indeed an honorably august visit when the Senate Committee on Marine Transport came on a constitutionally mandated visit to Nigerian Shippers Council. On today's program, we'll take you through who came, why they came, and what they did while here. We'll also bring you the latest updates from the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. And of course, we won't leave out our tidbit segment featuring both local and international maritime news anchored by Idowu Ogungbemi. Let's take a short break. We shall be right back.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Welcome back. You are watching The Shipper, the program dedicated to keeping you updated with goings on in the nation's maritime sector. Proudly brought to you by Nigerian Shippers Council, the nation's port economic regulator. I am Victoria Yavala. According to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senate committees are empowered to undertake oversight visits to ministries, departments, and agencies under their purview. As part of this constitutional duty, the committee is also expected to carry out similar engagements with other agencies in the maritime sector. These include NIMASA, Nigeria Ports Authority, National Inland Waterways Authority, Maritime Academy of Nigeria, and the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, amongst others. This informed the recent visit by the Senate Committee on Marine Transport, aimed at obtaining first-hand information and gaining deeper insights into operations and challenges on the ground. With that said, let's hand over to Lucy Yambi as she presents the full story compiled by our correspondent, Additional Abiodun.
As part of fulfilling their constitutional mandate, the Senate Committee on Marine Transport visited the management of Nigerian Shippers Council. The purpose of the visit was to interact directly with management and staff to gain a better understanding of the agency's operations and challenges. Welcoming the delegation, Dr. Pius Akuta MON, Executive Secretary and CEO of the Council, expressed appreciation for the visit. He also commended the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola CON, for his visionary leadership and applauded the National Assembly for its ongoing work towards the passage of the Nigerian Ports Economic Regulatory Agency Emperor Bill 2025. He also emphasized the need for sustainable funding through the freight stabilization fee, as opposed to the current revenue from the Port Development Levy.
I must especially acknowledge the National Assembly, and in particular this committee, for your tireless collaboration with this council. Your historic role in the passage of the Nigerian Port Economic Regulatory Agency Bill 2025 is a milestone that will forever reshape Nigeria's maritime industry. It guarantees fairness, transparency, and competitiveness in our ports and reflects the legislature's enduring legacy in strengthening critical sectors. While we have made progress challenges remain, particularly in funding and sustaining the independence of the Council. At present, the Council relies largely on 2.7% port development levy as its main source of funding. However, this levy is not only inadequate to meet the scale of our statutory responsibilities, but also lacks a firm legislative backing, leaving the Council's financial base unstable. To address this, we respectfully seek your urgent support in two critical areas, while acknowledging your commitment to this in the passage of the 2025 Appropriation Bill, where you graciously approve the implementation of the 1% freight fee, which is captured in our Establishment Act as the main source of our revenue.
Senator Wasiu Eshilokun Sani, chairman of the Senate Committee on Marine Transport, who led the delegation, stated that the visit was a constitutional duty to ensure transparency, efficiency, and accountability in the implementation of government policies and programs.
The maritime industry, and particularly shipping, is a catalyst for national development. It contributes significantly to job creation, industrial growth, and foreign exchange earnings. Therefore, the performance of Nigerian Shippers Council as the port economic regulator and a key driver of efficiency in the shipping value chain is central to Nigerian economic aspirations. The administration under the leadership of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has shown commendable commitment to the development of the maritime sector. Through ongoing reforms, policy realignment, and investment in port infrastructures and digitalization, the federal government has continued to create an enabling environment for shipping services to thrive. These efforts are geared towards reducing the cost of doing business, enhancing competitiveness, aligning Nigeria's maritime industries with international best practices. As a committee, we are determined to support these reforms and ensure that the Nigerian Shippers Council continues to deliver on its mandate. Our oversight today will afford the opportunity to engage constructively, review progress made, understand the challenges faced, and recommend pragmatic solutions that will enhance service delivery and boost economic growth.
The Director, Strategic Planning and Research Department, Mr. Olurotimi Anifowose, delivered a presentation highlighting the Council's key activities and achievements.
Over the years, we have strengthened stakeholders' engagement by signing MOU with other regulatory bodies, including port operators, government agencies, shipping companies, and cargo owners. We have decentralized port operations and improved on logistics efficiency. We have commissioned Dala Inland Dry Port and Futua Inland Dry Port to ease congestions at seaports. We have promoted investment in port infrastructure to create seamless network. We have modernized port administration and improved ease of doing business. We have introduced online registration portal for port service providers and to drive compliance with regulatory requirements. We've driven attraction towards the investment into maritime industry to align with the national economic objectives. We have also implemented policies to monitor freight rates, regulate market competition, and prevent excessive charges and ensure transparency. The Council also, in recognition of the significance of trade policies and actions in international trade, has continuously sought ways to use international trade as a catalyst for activating the country's vast economic potentials. In view of this, we are currently advising the federal government and also sensitizing stakeholders on the gains of the agreement to the nation's economy.
Mrs. Margaret Ogbonna, the Director, Regulatory Services Department, also spoke to the committee members, showcasing the savings made by the Council's e-regulatory platform.
Non-compliance to the delay in the return of containers to the seaport, as the containers are the equipment of the shipping company. So those monies, when they keep it for some time, they repatriate it back to their parent companies outside of the country through the Central Bank of Nigeria. In some of the meetings, the attention of Central Bank was drawn to it, and they now handed over the responsibility to Nigerian Shippers Council to be doing the confirmation on their behalf, since it falls under our purview to oversee what is happening in the industry. And we started that confirmation 2022. When we started that confirmation in 2022, it took the council almost 3 months to do a lot of confirmation because of the bulkiness of the documentation from the banks and the people asking for such repatriation. And the council went forward to automate the process through what we call our e-regulatory platform. And when we started that, by 2022, we were able to save 6 billion for the country. In other words, at 2022, it was hybrid, manual and automation. By 2023, it became full automation, and we recorded over 41 billion as savings from the repatriation.
Senator Cyril Fasui, a committee member, called for a stronger legal framework to empower the council to fully carry out its regulatory responsibilities.
I would like to advise, since the committee is here, one of your functions, this trade dispute resolution. In the past, when I was on this other side, I remember dragging about 5 shipping companies to this place on this trade dispute. And you gave your judgment, but they were not compliant with because you don't have the legislative backing to enforce your outcome. I think if there's anything you need to discuss with the chairman on this, so that you are not seen as a toothless bulldog. You can imagine if a central bank sanctions a bank, but doesn't have the regulatory backing, then what is the essence? And that's what I have seen. You understand? That is what I have observed when I was on the other side. I brought 5 shipping companies here. You gave your judgment, but they didn't comply. And that is why they are responsible for the excessive charges and the ports without any control.
Senator Issa Jibrin emphasized the urgency of addressing the council's funding challenges through legislative support.
When you are talking of their inability to implement the international cargo tracking issue, that again means that there is a need for sufficient legal backing, legislative backing, so that if there is any default along that line, those defaulters can be appropriately sanctioned. Secondly, you are talking of the non-actualization of the 1% free fee and whatever. Again, if this is an act, okay, there must be sanctions for non-implementation or non-compliance. So what I'm saying is that challenges here goes back to the Senate in terms of legislative backing, so that they will be able to implement and enforce these sources of revenue that are stated here. And without these revenues, whatever they are saying here, they may not be able to actualize all they are saying. So the issue of the sources of revenue must be addressed, and like I say, the legislative backing must be sufficient enough so that there will be sanctions for non-compliance. Having said that, the way this presentation has been made, given the challenges they have, the funding requirements they have, I think there is a need for Senate to come up with a proposal for intervention. Okay? The essence of this intervention is to ensure that they have what they are supposed to have now. Okay? Instead of waiting for these sources of revenue that may not come immediately, they will be able to implement some of the things they are supposed to implement, some of the issues that they need to address to make them effective.
Senator Sunday Marshal Katun stressed the importance of capacity building for the council staff to enhance their competence and representation of the agency in critical engagements.
Technical training should not be restricted to just the technical staff. Practically all the staff, especially the junior cadre staff, should be exposed to some level of general technical training so that they can speak up for the organization. Because you have quite a number of challenges and you need to create awareness in people about what you're doing, because nobody's going to speak for you if you can't speak for yourself. I know the program you used to have, I don't know if it's still running, one of the television stations, was compelling for people to sit and look at.
As part of the visit, the committee members participated in the tape cutting ceremony of the council's newly refurbished conference room in a symbolic gesture of partnership and recognition.
We dedicate this new boardroom to the service of the staff and humanity. May God bless all meetings to be held here. Amen.
With several critical issues raised and deliberated, it is hoped that Nigerian Shippers Council will soon experience meaningful relief and progress on many pressing concerns requiring urgent attention.
A visit by members of the National Assembly is a significant indicator that the agency's efforts are being noticed, which also serves as validation. Nigerian Shippers Council is clearly on the right path. With sustained collaboration, robust oversight, and the active involvement of the National Assembly, the Council is well positioned to fulfill its mandate and elevate the maritime sector to its rightful place of pride. Nigeria's Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, has called for the immediate removal of war risk insurance premiums imposed on vessels coming into Nigeria, describing the charges as outdated and unjust. Speaking at the 3rd Annual Maritime Lecture of Maritime Reporters Association of Nigeria, MARAN, in Lagos, Oyetola, who was represented by his media advisor, Dr. Bolaji Akinola, showcased key achievements of the ministry in just 2 years. These include ending the Apapa gridlock, launching Africa's first national policy on marine and blue economy, modernizing Lagos and Tinkan ports, doubling agency revenues, unlocking the cabotage vessel financing fund, boosting local shipping, fisheries, and maritime safety. He stressed that Nigeria has recorded zero piracy in 4 years, thanks to the Deep Blue project. Despite these achievements, Oyetola lamented that Nigeria continues to bear the burden of war risk insurance premiums imposed by international underwriters' surcharges that have cost the nation over $1.5 billion based on outdated perception of insecurity. The minister assured that Nigeria is engaging global insurers with fresh security data and urged stakeholders to work together to make the blue economy a pillar of growth and sustainability. Let's now join Idowu Ogungbemi on our tidbit segments.
Hello and welcome to the tidbit segment of The Shipper. I am Idowu Ogungbemi and we've got some interesting stories and updates from the maritime sector. Stay glued and let's get started. In a bid to promote inter-agency collaboration, the Federal Road Safety Corps has trained the Nigerian Shippers Council staff as special marshals. The training workshop was held at the Council's headquarters in Lagos recently. In a welcome address, the Deputy Director, Stakeholder Services of the Council, Mrs. Anna Adaba, said NSC and FRSC put up the training workshop for staff in order to expose them to practical knowledge of special marshals. Adaba urged the personnel to pay more attention to the facilitators.
This program is designed to equip us with knowledge and skills required to handle our duties as special marshal. In Nigerian Shippers Council, we are committed to excellence, and this training is to help us achieve that. This training is going to be centered in 3 different areas. We are going to be looking at patrol procedures, special marshal guideline, then also be going through how to handle defensive driving and its techniques. Is well packed. So I encourage you all to pay attention, take notes, and make it a very interactive section.
In a goodwill message, the Apapa Unit Commander, CRC Kellensin Makanto, said that the Special Marshals training would complement the FRSC's efforts in ensuring road safety. She noted that the partnership between the Shippers Council and FRSC would further strengthen Apapa's standing and improve road safety measures in the area.
Special Marshals, what do we do? What are our roles? Basically, we do traffic control within our jurisdiction. That's the basic thing we do. And how do we do it? From time to time, when the road is choked up or when our services are needed, we need to be there. And when we talk about safer lives, we enlighten people. How do you come in? All of the thoughts today. How do you come in when we enlighten people? You come in by participating in person and by sponsoring our events. Sponsoring our events we have flyers. You can produce flyers as a unit. Produce flyers that will help. We will share it in churches, in mosques, markets, schools, and so on. Those are ways you contribute to the growth of the units and to the growth of road safety and for saving lives.
Speaking with the Council's correspondent, RCJH Ajayi spoke extensively on the guidelines for special marshals. He described the decision to join the Marshal Corps as a commitment to national service, underscoring the need for discipline and responsibility.
The importance of training the special marshal in Shippers Council is to be able to allow them to be able to perform their duties effectively on the road. More especially when we are teaching them what defensive driving technique is all about, they in turn will teach others. When they see the wrongdoing of drivers on the road, they will know what it means to correct. The knowledge itself is to equip them in performing their constitutional duties. Also, teaching them will help them to be able to defend their action on the road. Sometimes some people, it's possible they meet with people that will challenge their authority. But this capacity building is helping them to know their role, to know that they are covered constitutionally by the federal government, and to know that they are doing what they are expected to do to the society. As a special marshal, they can go out for public enlightenment. They can even impact this positive idea into the life of their colleagues in the office by training them and retraining other road users.
We encourage you to follow our social media pages at NG Shippers on Facebook, Instagram, X and YouTube for the latest updates, events and information. Let's take a look at our complaint register for the week. The Nigerian Shippers Council has received 5 complaints. While 3 of these complaints have been resolved, 2 are still ongoing investigation. The complaints include conspiracy, forgery, illegal collection of money, missing items, and damaged goods. We encourage stakeholders to visit our website at www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng for more information or to lodge their concerns. Now, let's talk about the international maritime sector. French shipping and logistics major CMA CGM has decided to accelerate the launch of the second phase of the Latakia port expansion project in Syria. The decision follows the meeting between CMA CGM's chairman and CEO Rodolphe Sade and the Syrian president Ahmad Sahara in Damascus. As revealed by CMA CGM, the new phase will directly complement the initial phase of 30 million euros investment and represent a strategic commitment of 200 million euros in the near future under the renewed 30-year concession agreement signed recently. The French company will continue to manage and redevelop Syria's main international container terminal at the port of Latakia to significantly enhance the port's role as a regional trade hub and support Syria's economic recovery. In another news, a new coalition uniting private companies, non-profit organizations and academic institutions to support the responsible growth of marine carbon dioxide removal has officially been launched. As disclosed, the Marine Carbon Dioxide Removal Coalition, launched recently, aims to inform and advance research, support evidence-based policy engagement, and foster relationships among science, conservation, and governance stakeholders. The launch is described as representing the first dedicated forum of its kind. The coalition is co-chaired by the Carbon Business Council, which comprises more than 100 carbon management companies, and the World Ocean Council, which brings together shipping and energy players, among others, to promote a sustainable blue economy. According to the initiative's representatives, the coalition is to provide a platform for knowledge sharing and contribution on marine carbon dioxide removal across several pathways. That wraps up this week's segment of Tidbit on the Shipper. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more insights, trends, and key development from across the maritime industry. Until then, stay informed and stay safe.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
That's where we'll drop the anchor of this week's edition of The Shipper. As the waves of progress continue to shape Nigeria's maritime landscape, Oversight visits remind us that collaboration, transparency, and accountability are vital for a thriving sector. Don't forget, your voice matters too. So stay engaged with us on social media at NG Shippers. We look forward to your thoughts, questions, and insights. Until we sail again, keep your compass steady and navigate with purpose. Wishing you a swimmingly great week ahead.